The following is a News 10 NBC special presentation.
So we feel blessed. I mean, to be able to do something that you love, music, play guitar, sing, keyboard, bass, and be able to do it, to give back, it's a blessing.
I couldn't believe that other people weren't doing community service activities. It should be an obligation, not a choice.
For her to stand up and say, like, it wasn't acceptable and she wanted to change it and do something was inspiring.
Breakthroughs come when you have a young person see themselves in something and then they go and strive after that with everything they have.
If you get involved and you feel useful, you will, in fact, be happier, healthier, live longer.
Tonight, News 10 NBC and ESL Federal Credit Union are proud to introduce you to 5 individuals who selflessly give of their time to others to make our community a better place to live. Presenting the ESL Jefferson Awards for Public Service, Multiplying Good.
Hello, I'm Nikki Rudd. Tonight we have the honor to introduce you to a group of extraordinary people who all have something in common. They are proof that one person can make a difference. They are not just dreamers, but doers. Celebrating its 50th anniversary nationally, the Jefferson Awards are our country's longest standing and most prestigious celebration of public service. Its founding vision to tell the very best stories of the very best Americans, those who make an impact in the lives of others, which in turn multiplies good all across the community. Once again, ESL Federal Credit Union and News 10 NBC are proud to partner in recognizing individuals who've gone above and beyond right here at home. They are the 2022 ESL Jefferson Award winners for public service.
Hi, I'm Fahim Masood, President and CEO of ESL Federal Credit Union. I'd like to take a moment to wish a big congratulations to all of the ESL Jefferson Award recipients. These 5 honorees are certainly deserving of this recognition, as their work is inspiring and impactful in lifting up our community. Their exemplary, selfless work represents the best of our community and signifies Greater Rochester's most valuable resource, our people. We are a giving and resilient community. We are a community that understands the impact one person can make and the collective benefit when we work together. On behalf of ESL, thank you to all of you who volunteer and make a difference. Congratulations to all the ESL Jefferson Award honorees for your achievements, and thank you all for joining us for this special broadcast.
I'm Dick Reingold, Vice President and General Manager of News 10 NBC. Thank you for joining us for this year's Salute to Unsung Heroes, who contribute so much to our community. We're inspired every year by their stories, and we are grateful to ESL for our partnership of more than 20 years in putting a spotlight on these heroes.
We don't just build robots, we build people. That's what tonight's first ESL Jefferson Award winner will tell you about his work as a mentor on a robotics team at Wilson Magnet High School. He's been volunteering with the team for nearly 2 decades. And in that time, he's motivated hundreds of students to find their voice, their passion, and even inspired careers. Emily Putnam introduces you to computer engineer, robotics coach, and inspirational youth mentor, Daytwan Dixon.
Daytwan is one of the most heartfelt, caring people I've ever met.
When he's not working as a systems engineer at Xerox, Daytwan Dixon pours his heart, his time, and his computer expertise into the XCATS robotics team at his alma mater, Wilson Magnet High School.
But one of my favorite sayings is, it takes a village to raise a child. And for some reason, whatever that reason is, I'm very passionate about helping kids.
Every year, before the team starts to build their robot for competition, Daytwan puts the focus on helping the community first.
So we go to Food Link to volunteer there. We've gone to a place called Toys for Tots. They're fantastic.
For over 19 years, Daytwan has volunteered with the XCATS to give students the space and the confidence to find their voice, their passion, and a community. For a lot of kids, the team becomes an essential part of their daily routine.
We have students on our teams that show up to the site just because they want to get a meal. Sometimes we have students on our teams who have abuse going on in the household. And when I say they have a safe place to come to and just get things off their mind when they're on a robotics team, they truly do.
Vicki Robertson nominated Daytwan for a Jefferson Award.
He keeps us focused on the kids. Some of us mentors, we get really excited by the game or building the robot or whatever, and Daytwan always brings us back to the kids. And that's why we're there.
Daytwan's impact on the kids is profound. Some have even gone on to pursue careers in STEM fields.
The impact of Daytwan on my life is kind of immeasurable.
Aiden just immersed himself into programming, and he absolutely loves it. So he got a full ride to U of R. Now he's in California with this job that is absolutely amazing.
In terms of giving of his own time, Daytwan reigns supreme. I mean, he really just dedicates so much time, so much energy to this team, to our mission.
It should be an obligation, not a choice. So that's one of the things that I've always believed in, something that my mother and my grandmother, they instilled in me. So I continue to try to give back.
As coronavirus shut down businesses and left many struggling to keep going, some services also suffered from the economic fallout. And that's where our next award recipient stepped in. She was months away from ending her long career in activism and retiring. But the needs suddenly became so great and so urgent, she went back to work and started a brand new nonprofit from the ground up. Charles Molyneux introduces you to Ann Tischer.
At 67, I thought, well, it's time for me to retire and go traveling.
2 years ago, longtime activist and advocate Ann Tischer was ready to kick back, retire. The travel trailer is in the driveway now. Instead, almost overnight, she ended up pulling together a brand new nonprofit resource, Rainbow Seniors Rock, with a special mission.
Help a broad array of LGBT people live their best lives as they age. Our motto is live vibrantly at every age.
When COVID devastated the funding for Rochester's Out Alliance, shutting down its work for seniors, Ann says the need for those resources didn't go away and instead became more acute.
The bulk of LGBT seniors, 70%, are single. We're much less likely to have children and far more likely to live alone, lack the support that you would get from family, extended family, and churches.
Now, Rainbow Seniors offers a network of connections and events, like a regular lunch and yoga classes, as well as outreach to seniors and for them.
You need social supports, you need socialization, you need advocacy.
Ann Tischer's work, when so many other sources of help have withered, gets grateful praise.
Ann is a fireball of energy and of positivity. She is just a happy person, and it shows in everything she does.
Over the era of COVID and quarantine, Rainbow Seniors has kept communications channels open with the greeting card ministry, making sure people who may be homebound or suffering illnesses get the kind of connection that something like a birthday card can provide.
If you're alone and you can't drive, these things, one card makes a big difference. So connectedness is huge.
Ann Tischer says Rainbow Seniors' leadership and fundraising are almost ready for her to finally retire. For real this time, although she has no complaints about staying hard at work.
There are credible studies that show the people who live longest, who are the healthiest, and enjoy life most are people that do service.
Our next Jefferson Award winner is one of our youngest to date. She's already changing the world, and her age hasn't even hit the double digits yet. She is proof that there are no dreams too big and no dreamers too small. Once again, here's Emily Putnam with Santi's story.
Santi's very generous, and she's always thinking of others and always trying to find ways to help everyone.
at just 9 years old, Santi Patel from Greece has already made an immeasurable impact on her community.
When I was 6, I was at a playground and I saw a little girl and she couldn't play with anything on the playground. I went to my mom and asked her why, and she said it just wasn't made for her.
That didn't sit well with Santi, so she did something few adults would dare to do. She took action.
Because as adults, we see it, but we don't really question it. It's just kind of like, unfortunately, there's not much that we can do. But for her to stand up and say, like, it wasn't acceptable and she wanted to change it and do something was kind of inspiring.
She started by setting her sights on building a single wheelchair-accessible swing, selling seasonal beverages by the cup to raise money.
With hot chocolate in the winter and lemonade in the summer.
It's kind of taken us by surprise. Like when we first started, there was like 2 or 3 people that would come, just neighbors come, and then her school resource officer found out about her cocoa stands and made flyers and kind of made it a big deal.
The vision grew bigger too when the town of Greece heard about her idea.
They actually added to her dream and vision and did the whole playground. So originally Santi just had a goal of getting a swing put in.
Her reach goes beyond Rochester. She's making waves nationally, even making an appearance on the Kelly Clarkson Show.
That's so kind, because you saw someone that couldn't enjoy the swing how it was, and you wanted to be wheelchair accessible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On top of selling hot cocoa, Santi collected bags and bags of bottles and cans. With support from generous donors, soon her dream of building an inclusive playground became a reality.
Look, you're going so fast. So many playgrounds have wood chips or, difficult to navigate environments. So to be able to bring him here and let him play with other kids like any other child would is just amazing.
Santi is having a political influence as well. Assemblymember Josh Jensen has introduced a bill that would require all New York State parks to have accessible playground equipment. He's also working to establish the Everyone Can Play grant program for towns.
So they'll be able to apply for the grant up to $100,000, and then they can get handicap accessible equipment put in.
And that's all because of Santi?
Yes.
All because of Santi's vision. A big reason why she wanted to do this?
I love it when the wind just blows my hair back and not forward. And that happens on a swing when it just blows your hair back. And I wanted every kid to feel that because it feels so nice.
This is just the beginning for Santi. She hopes to one day have a career designing playgrounds.
I hope to have more wheelchair accessible playgrounds all over the world. It fills my heart with joy to see how one little change can make a kid smile. And I just love seeing every kid smile.
Our next recipient loves the sport of lacrosse. He's also watching and helping it turn into a way to lift other young people into opportunities they might never have dreamed of. Charles Molyneux introduces you to London Booker, who's inviting more kids to pick up a stick.
And there are 6 kids in an abandoned lot with a goal, fully padded, playing lacrosse. There's a goalie in the net.
Today, he's on the sidelines for game after game coaching with Rocky 6 and with Rochester schools. But London Booker says he only realized something had really changed in Rochester in 2015 when he drove by an abandoned lot on Portland Avenue.
I hit the brakes, throw in reverse, and I'm like screaming at them, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" They're like, "Yeah, we play lacrosse at Soda," and they got the black and gray helmets. I'm like, holy smokes.
Lacrosse all over RCSD was the realization of a dream he'd had since high school. In 2006, when he was in 7th grade, he first started playing with what was then the brand new Rocky 6 lacrosse program, and he got hooked.
And once he got into Rocky 6 and learned that game and learned how to do it, it was lacrosse, it was no other sport.
But when I picked up the stick after that summer, I never put it back down again.
Trouble was, there was no lacrosse at his Rochester school. So London eked out some play with the younger kids in Eastern Irondequoit Youth and finally talked about lacrosse with his mom.
I would say for the most part, I never really stuck to anything, but like this was the one thing that she was like, you really love this, don't you? And so she said, we can move.
London played 3 years at Gates Chili High School, which led to 4 years of lacrosse at Division II Roberts Wesleyan College. Then London came home, where he is now the varsity head coach at East United Eastridge.
It was quite powerful because when I was in 8th grade, I had a Spanish teacher. He said, you know, like one thing I always noticed about you is that you were passionate about lacrosse. And I'm sorry that the city doesn't have it, but I think that one day, you know, that'll change.
But all this time, his involvement continued at Rock E6, where he now coaches, but also mentors, bringing young players out to this third sport, not football or basketball, but a different way to let kids achieve their potential.
I mean, we're really grassroots, like throw on a jersey and go. Like there were years where we got 6 kids lining up in denim and khakis, but they showed up to practice and they were ready to go.
I mean, he's taken those kids in, he's counseled them, you know, the kids who may be a little bit more underprivileged.
Some of these kids stand out. One of London's players, Jameer Warfield, would have graduated from East High, but he was such a standout, he was recruited by a prep school, and he now plays at SUNY Albany. Krishawn Hunter, he's headed for the University of Pennsylvania, but London says he sees success stories all around him.
And I remember all those young men. They're all like, we got firefighters, we got some of those young men are in the service right now.
London says he's thrilled to see lacrosse catching on because it brings in other young Rochester athletes who may not have had that kind of sports connection before, especially to a sport like lacrosse. And that victory on the field can really be a victory in a young person's life.
The breakthroughs come when you have a young person see themselves in something and then they take hold of that and then they go in and strive after that with everything they have. And so we've seen that in a number of different ways, and I would say a large group of the young men that I've been doing life with right now are like starting to manifest that.
What started out as a handful of guys doing what they love for charity has turned into something so much bigger. Dogs for a Cause is Rochester's premier rock and roll fundraising band. The lives and causes they've touched in our community just keeps growing. Tonight, I'm honored to introduce you to Steve Ball and the Dogs. 4 rock and rollers jamming out on stage, all for charity.
I wouldn't say we play for free. I think that what we get may not hit the cash register, but the satisfaction of what we're doing is amazing.
It all goes back to 2014 when Steve Ball started a band with his buddies at work at Wegmans. They had a Sing with the Band fundraiser to benefit the United Way, and it just grew from there.
What we did was so unique that it was kind of like, what's the catch here? Like, you're going to set this up for us, you're going to find a place to play, you're going to play the event, and you're going to hand us a check. What's the catch?
But there is no catch. Dogs for a Cause is a fundraising band.
They're nuts, first and foremost. But they're some very generous dudes.
Dino Kay from Fickle 93.3 is just one of the people who nominated Steve Ball and the Dogs for the ESL Jefferson Award.
They don't play for money, ever. They don't play for money. They only do fundraising events. They are the GoFundMe of Rochester, you know? That's all they do.
Al Germano is the lead singer and plays keyboard and guitar. His brother Lou Germano is lead guitarist and background vocals. You'll find Steve Ball on bass and Dwayne Draper on drums.
So we feel blessed. I mean, to be able to do something that you love, music, play guitar, sing, keyboard, bass, and be able to do it to give back, it's a blessing.
The Dogs play a show every month for a charity.
you need to know if you come out and see us, it's going to be quite a fun, interactive show.
You'll probably recognize the songs. Plus,
we have games and contests that we use in show. We have crafted our set list, as both guys have said, to be interactive, right? We wear cheesy suits because we want people to smile.
To Donna and Holy Childhood.
And they make sure you know about the charity and the work being done in our community.
Thank you.
And you start to realize how many people are out there doing this kind of good work, and it's nice to be a part of it.
They are the extraordinary people, honestly.
The Dogs have done fundraising concerts for Cure Childhood Cancer, the Open Door Mission, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and Holy Childhood, just to name a few.
It's not just about the funds, which is simply amazing. I think they get a lot of satisfaction out of seeing the good they help to do. And when they're lifting up so many organizations like Holy Childhood in this community, that's making a difference, one group at a time.
People are generous. I mean, that's what floors me every time we play out, is how generous people really are. And the minute they know it's for charity, they're willing to help.
And listen to this. Steve Ball and the Dogs have raised more than $125,000 for charities right here in the Rochester community.
That's why we don't know where this thing goes from here. We want to just keep doing it.
And these guys don't plan to stop rocking for charity anytime soon. Recently, we were able to celebrate with our winners as they gathered together to receive their awards and greet each other in person. We are also able to present Steve Ball and the Dogs with an additional award and recognition for their service, and congratulate them on being chosen to represent the Rochester region at the National Jefferson Awards 50th anniversary celebration this June in Indianapolis. As we close tonight, we have seen through these extraordinary Rochesterians that volunteering not only provides us with the opportunity to get involved in a cause that we're passionate about, but also provides the chance to look beyond our own circumstances and appreciate what others are experiencing. The difference that you'll make in someone else's life could make an even bigger difference in yours. I'm Nikki Rudd.